Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick, you big baby!
Destroy All Humans 2005 is one of my favorite video games of all time. It's extremely nostalgic to me. Every time I play it, it's practically like playing it all over again. I love the characters, I love the story, I love the guns, I love the gameplay. I love pretty much everything about this game. I mean, Destroy All Humans sticks out for so many reasons. Not only do you play as an alien, but also you play as the bad guy. And this was one of the first video games I've ever played where I actually played as the bad guy. That's really cool. Now, you're all probably reading the title of this video and wondering, what are you talking about? You just gave it such a big intro, how could you possibly have a problem with this version? Well, here's the thing. This game is not a bad game. It's a good game. But it's not a good Destroy All Humans game.
Disappointed!
And I'm gonna go into detail on why. But before I start talking about the bad, how about I talk a little bit about the good things in it first? First of all, it is gorgeous. Holy shit. That looks beautiful. Dude, you can see the back of Crypto's neck breathing. That is cool. It's like an octopus or some shit. That's fucking cool. And I love that they did that with the graphics. They did a lot of unique things with it. They made it look beautiful. That looked like, that looked good, guys. That looked good. Second of all, I love how they added new indefinite things to the campaign. Like, they added, like, longer moments for those little role-playing elements. I like how they added different missions, and then how they, like, added more things to missions, making them longer. That is great, and it really works for content. And thirdly, I love how they have, like, all the still classic dialogue. And even how they brought in some new dialogue, like for the chef guy and stuff. That's really great too. It's unfortunate though that these are kind of really the only things I can think that has superior to the classic. Everything else is inferior in practically every way. We now get to the bad things. And here's the first reason why the new Destroy All Humans is inferior to the classic 2005 version. Number 1. The aesthetics. And what do I mean by that? Let me explain. A lot of people tend to overlook aesthetics in gaming. And what I mean by that, it tends to go with like how characters move, how enemies look when they're hit, how you look when you're jumping or going over a certain object. Things like that. And I'll give an example. Let's look at Sly 2 and 3, okay? With the kill animations. When you look at Sly and Murray killing an enemy, this is how it looks.
Okay, going for level.
Do you see how it's like a sleek movement? It looks nice, like they're getting actually thrown onto the floor. Then you go to Sly 4 and it looks like this.
Are you serious? This is torture. You're torturing me and everyone else watching. Wait.
Do you see how something just appears kind of off about that? Like they're just getting like yanked by some form of gravity that doesn't exist. It's just kind of weird, you know? And Destroy All Humans, the remake, really struggles with this. There's a lot of issues with how the characters move in this version, but I think I'll start off with how Crypto jumps. Okay, so in the 2005 version, when Crypto jumped, he was supposed to be like a slight reference to the man on the moon. That was the point. It was like he was weightless. Like when he jumps, it's like he's jumping on the moon. That's supposed to be the reference. Here, he jumps like this? What? I just don't understand why they changed that. They made him jump really fast now, and also, they made Crypto weigh like 3,000 pounds. In the 2005 version, he was supposed to lightly fall down. That was the point. When he's falling, you can shoot at enemies easier. This one, he just plummets to the floor like a giant rock. Now, I think those aesthetic issues are bad, in my opinion, but nothing, and I mean nothing, in comparison, can possibly remotely come close to how the UFO lands and takes off. You see how aesthetically pleasing that was? How the arms of the UFO slowly crawled out, and then he slowly levitated down. That looks nice. Now look at this one. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, but this is insulting. This was actually insulting to me. When I first saw this, a tear went down my right eye. I'm not even kidding, guys. I was this offended by this. Because it's almost like, oh hey, you remember in the original how it was like this really cool cutscene whenever you landed? You know, it's like, like the UFO comes down like, and then you lightly fall down, and then you're ready for action. Here, he just fucking lands. 2 seconds. Not even 2 seconds, like 1 second. It's ridiculous. If they didn't want it to be so long, why didn't they just add a skip button? But no, let's just make it 2 seconds. Not even. The Psychokinesis has some issues with aesthetics as well, but I'm gonna get more into the Psychokinesis later and how they absolutely destroyed it. And now on to the next problem in the game. The Majestic. Oh god, did they ruin the Majestic. And for my viewers who don't really know who the Majestic is, you know, let me just explain this real quick. So the Majestic is a secret, covert government agency hell-bent on killing aliens and Furons that come onto the planet. Okay, that's pretty badass, right? They're the Men in Black of this universe. They have plasma guns, they have EMP things, they have gigantic laser mounts, they have everything. They have like really technologically superior things because they stole it from the Furons. Hell, there's even a guy who says that he's a Furon hunter.
Agent Arbogast Majestic is my name, and Furon hunting is my game. And the odd political assassination, but I don't like to talk about that.
Then you go to the remake in 2020, and the Majestic guys look like this. Is that a fucking Tommy gun?
Ready? Go!
Is that a Tommy gun I see? THQ Nordic.
Make a suggestion. Why don't you just
Not change the Majestic.
Great idea, Squidward. One,
Majestic.
please.
Is that with or without conventional weapons? My viewers, who are completely unbiased with this right now, I want you to be completely honest with me right now. Which one looks like a secret, covert government agent hell-bent on dominating Furons, and which one looks like a mafia member? Tell me, which one looks like a mafiosa? I'm guessing it's the guy with the fucking Tommy gun! The thing is that Majestic used to be a threat. Also, another thing with the Psychokinesis, back then it used to be harder to steal their brains. It used to be harder to get around them and stuff like that. That also makes them even more of a threat. They also were harder to kill. You had to shoot them more.
Real done. If it looks majestic, annihilate it. Teach them the meaning of this.
Now, with the Psychokinesis, which we will get into soon, about and how they destroyed it, they're nothing. They're not difficult anymore. You could just fucking just kill them easily. And now I think it's where we go on to that issue. You are overpowered as shit. Now time to finally talk about the Psychokinesis. It is broken. Absolutely broken. In 2005, there was a regen meter on your Psychokinesis. You know, so that the game's balanced. Yeah, it's not balanced anymore. You were the most OP son of a bitch in this entire game. In the old one, whenever you wanted to, say, throw somebody with it, or maybe steal somebody's brains, or whatever, okay? You had to regenerate your bar, so that you can use it again, therefore forcing you to use your guns while it's regenerating. In this one, you don't have to use your guns, people! If you just level up your Psychokinesis max, all you have to do, you could just steal brains and throw people with your psychic powers. You could do that if you wanted to. Let me just rephrase this one more time in case if the audience does not completely fathom what I'm saying. You don't have to use your guns in a game where you cannot unequip your guns. And for those of you who don't believe me about the Psychokinesis being an issue in the new one, I'm going to compare the 2005 version of the gameplay with the 2020. And you guys tell me if the Psychokinesis is overpowered. Did you see how that entire time I wasn't focused on doing just one thing? I wasn't just throwing them with my psychic powers. I wasn't just shooting them. I wasn't just stealing their brains. I was going for a very diverse form of gameplay. I mean, I was doing everything. I was customizing my own combat technique. Like, look, even here, I'm stealing this guy's brains when I don't have to, but I just felt like doing it. Now let's go to the 2020 version.
Watch where you
Can somebody tell me what the fuck just happened? Did you notice that I didn't have to use my gun once there? That is a problem. And also, I am so fucking sick of seeing all these brains just flying around absolutely everywhere. Back then it used to be so simple, you just get one brain. Now they're just everywhere.
One more thing, Eugene, give me that. If I ever find one of these lying around again, I swear to fucking God, I will stop being so polite. Get the fuck out of my sight before I demolish you.
I just really, really wish that this game was more like the 2005 version instead of this mess. I also much rather prefer the 2005 version of the Psychokinesis because whenever you pick somebody up, it's almost like they're struggling against your psychic powers, which is so cool. You know, when you pick up a farmer or something, or whoever the hell you're picking up, they're like flailing their arms and stuff. You know, they're trying to get away, which I think is realistic and pretty cool. In the new one, whenever you pick them up, they just go all ragdoll. Like, no. Also, with the Psychokinesis, you can't just kind of drop anybody now. That's not a thing. Once you pick somebody up, you either have to just let go and throw them, or you have to double tap it to get it. But the thing is, if you don't know to double tap it, you're just gonna chuck them 50,000 feet away, so they're gonna die. I cannot tell you how many times I've failed missions where I'm supposed to pick up somebody with my psychic powers, but then accidentally killed them because you can't just drop them like I used to in the 2005 version. Practically the only enemies in the game that you actually have to use your guns on are the mutants and the bosses.
Take out those towers now! All units, attack! Attack! Attack!
Even the characters like the giant mechs that you fight, even them, once you level up your Psychokinesis all the way, you could just chuck them like they're nothing. Guys, if you want to beat this game in the easiest way possible, just max your Psychokinesis out, okay? You'll do fine, trust me. I also really don't like how you have to hit the R1 button to now pick them up with the psychic powers. I don't know, it just feels wrong to me. Like, you know, I miss how it was in the 2005 version, how you had to hold down the left trigger. Which gets me to our next problem with the game. The controls. I cannot even begin to fathom. Whose idea it was to change the controls this drastically. Normally when you're constructing a remake or a remaster, you are making that remake or remaster for the original people who have nostalgia for it, who want to play it. So normally if you were going to change it around, you wouldn't... Okay, my dog just sneezed. You wouldn't exactly change it that drastically, okay? Being the fact that, you know, you want the people who used to play it feel nostalgic for it and be ready to play it. Here... oh my god, they changed it so much, I don't even know where to begin to start, guys. So for those of you who haven't played the new one, okay, or even the old one, try to understand what I'm getting at here, okay? Just listen to how absurd these new control changes are, okay? They went from having a simplified version, where all you did was press the left trigger, and then either press X to confuse people, Y to pick them up, and B to steal brains. Also, if you get out of that and you just press B once, you turn into them. That's simple. That simple. Here, Psychokinesis now is the R1 button for some reason. Okay. Stealing brains is the X button? Okay. Turning into somebody is right on the D-pad? What? As you could see, it's just so bizarre. Like, I really cannot understand why they did that. Like, it's not just a slight change, guys. They completely changed it. Like, entirely. On to the next problem with the game. The brains. Now, a lot of people don't really think that this is a big issue. Me, since I'm a nitpicker, I do. I actually like the fact that you no longer just get currency from DNA, like you also get it from missions and stuff like that. That I actually think is a great change. However, I don't think that they should have changed the whole brain functionality. For example, in the old one, there was this really cool design. Every time when you stole a brain, they either were blue for 10%, 25 and green, 50 and yellow, and then red for 100. I'll tell you guys, when I used to play the game and I used to steal the brains, whenever I saw a red brain like on the floor, I was like, oh hell yeah, and I went and ran for it. That's cool. I like how they're different colors. It adds a unique thing to the game. I just personally think that's really cool, okay? Like, for example, when I used to play, I would go for, like, the general guys, and then when you go for the general guys, they tend to have the 100% brains. That's so cool, you know? So, I understand why they changed it up, but I kind of wish that they kept the colors and the DNA for it. You know, it's just a lot cooler, in my opinion. And now here's another little slight nitpick that I had that a lot of people didn't remember. In the original, whenever you died, it really branched out the fact that you're a clone, and I think that's so cool. For example, whenever you died, it said that you were a new crypto clone. And I honestly thought that that was one of the coolest things in the game, because you get to, like, imagine your own little crypto in your head. When you die, you're like, oh, this crypto is a different crypto. This crypto is like, oh, he's a crypto that's mad all the time. You know, you can make up your own crypto in your head, and I think that that is so cool. Well, guess what, guys? They completely scrapped it in this one. They just took it away, and I don't know why. It's a little nitpick I had, but it's whatever. It's not game-breaking or anything, but I just really miss it. Another small, not game-breaking problem this game has is it has a lot of glitches. Now, sure, the original 2005 version had some glitches here and there, but none like this.
What could go wrong?
All of this, khaki that. What the hell's wrong with Fuchsia?
Be careful, don't give me any lip or I'll throw you in the brig. Watch, look out, or I'll make you look out.
Normally, the type of glitches that are in this game are just very immersion breaking. They really take you out of it, but I wouldn't necessarily say they're game breaking. Also, this is another little thing that I find really weird. A lot of people lately have been saying that crypto isn't funny, which I'm like, really? I think he's hilarious. I mean, just watch this. If you tell me this isn't funny, then I don't know, man.
Let me get this straight. You sent me, him, Crypto136, to a hostile planet, and he's disappeared. Maybe captured, maybe even being tortured as we speak.
Well, I wouldn't jump to any conclusion.
I bet you wouldn't. Let me tell you something, Pox. You're a smart cookie. But there's a time for thought, and there's a time for action. And this is one of those times.
Which?
The second one.
Perhaps you're right, 137.
Of course I'm right. You kidding me? A cryptosporidium captured by a bunch of monkeys? We gotta go in. We gotta crack some craniums. We gotta rescue me. Him. He's gotta rescue me. I mean, I gotta... Brains, man. When do I get to blow things up?
Like, come on. Come on, that's funny. It's sad because I was so hyped for this game, and I ended up being left disappointed. Is it a bad game? No, I don't think it's a bad game. Is it a bad Destroy All Humans game? I'll leave that up to you guys to decide, but I personally, my opinion is different from everyone's, apparently. Altogether, I would rate this version of the game a 4 out of 10. It's not bad, but it's also not good either. Now, for the original, that shit is a 10 out of 10, baby. You guys need to play that. And you can download it on the Marketplace, on Xbox Marketplace, so fucking get that shit. Or I'll come to your house with a laser gun from the game.
Please, don't hurt me. I'll do anything you say. I swear.
You bet your ass you will. Come on, birdie boy.
You're gonna watch the new AssertiveDolphin episode. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I will look forward to seeing you guys on the next AssertiveDolphin episode.